Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to the episode of my F1 2019 career mode, episode number 61 today for the Mexican Grand Prix in Season 3. If you guys did miss the previous one, then be sure to go check that one out before you see this one. Heading into this then, we got a decent advantage on Charles Leclerc following that Japanese Grand Prix, and we're looking to try and build on that at the Mexican one, because out of the next few rounds, this is probably my strongest one. We've got USA, Brazil coming up, those two. Historically, the AI have been much better at those circuits than I have in the past on this game, and F1 games in general already, so I think Mexico, today's race, will be a good chance for us to get some more points on Leclerc and kind of cushion the blow that I think will be coming and will be inevitable at USA and Brazil. It's going to be mega tight though. You can see now everyone is now, I think, probably plateauing till the end of the season on the R&D chart, trying to save those points for the regulation reset we've got going into Season 4, but it just shows now, once all the graphs are kind of all straight, how close everything is. The scaling of this graph is so tiny, so I expect here at Mexico, it's going to be a real slipstream and DRS train fest, which hopefully will not affect the good racing we've had so far this season. But let's get into qualifying then and see how we do over one lap.
Welcome to qualifying here in Mexico, where the cars will be going out on track very shortly and battling it out to secure pole for tomorrow's Grand Prix. It always looked like the kind of track that asks an awful lot of the rear tyres, such as the frequency of low-speed exits.
No matter how good a driver is at managing their throttle application to limit rear slip, they can't always overcome a car that's inherently bad at looking after its rear tyres. Here we have a lot of low-speed corner exits, which means a whole load of energy, heat and tyre wear.
Right, so swinging into Q1 then, the very end of our first final lap then. A bit of oversteer is an understatement, to say the least, with that last corner. Get across the line though in P9, and that will be enough to get through into Q2, so not much really to show for that first session, just getting through obviously to the next session there, but a little bit down on pace on Leclerc, so some time to find potentially in this Q2 lap with a lock up on the front right, not helping me too much there, rotate the car, and a lot of understeer, I've got to say, through this last corner, either oversteer on exit or massive understeer on the entry to that corner, so it was feeling very odd. The lap time was still there though in Q2 because I go fastest of all, Leclerc P4, so the time was there, but the car just felt very, I don't know, just unresponsive. It was very odd. I don't really know how to explain it. I had quite a compromise on downforce, obviously, because I want to have enough straight line speed, but I felt like I had a good level of downforce on the car, but just through the last sector, especially that last corner and even the first few turns, just a lot of understeer in general. But like I said, the lap time was still there because we go through to our second flyer. At the moment, we're on provisional pole position. I wanted to try and improve because there was some time to find on the table in sectors 1 and 3, but getting held up there by the Haas car and getting some dirty air throughout the entirety of sector 2 has really hampered my time there. You can see we're down by 5/4 tenths there. We're up by 2 tenths in the first sector, but lost it all in the second and the last. Through the last corner, we do gain some time because we go down to 3 tenths only lower down, but we don't improve that lap time, so we're going to have to hope that's enough for pole position, but it was not in the end. Sergio Perez gets his home race pole position there, so I'm actually quite happy for him, to be fair, in the McLaren there. It's the first time I think I've seen Sergio Perez take pole at his home race here. Verstappen in second, ourselves in third place. Leclerc massively down the order in P8 there, so that's good news for us, but I'm going to take this opportunity now to actually play a bit tactical because Leclerc is down the order there. We're in P3. I'm going to take this chance to look into some engine penalties because we do have a worn internal combustion engine and an MGK, and those aren't going to last us all 4 races we've got left, so I'm going to tactically take 2 engine penalties here for the internal combustion engine and the MGK. That's going to put us down the order, but hopefully Leclerc is going to be there, around P8, so it shouldn't be too bad. I think, we should be able to make up that time, and hopefully he gets held up in some traffic, and we should be able to compromise there. But I think out of the race we've got left, USA, Brazil, Abu Dhabi, this is the track I want to try and get an engine penalty and come back from it. USA, Brazil, very slim chance. Abu Dhabi maybe, but here in Mexico, long main straight. We know how quick the car is in a straight line. It seems like a no-brainer to take this tactical penalty now, and so we're playing it, we're playing basically chess here, basically with Leclerc and myself for the championship here, and I think this is the kind of key winning piece of the puzzle, I think, for the remainder of the season. So let's go to Sunday then with these engine penalties. We know what the job will be. It's a comeback drive. Let's do it.
The air may be thin here in Mexico City. The atmosphere is anything but. The crowd have been chanting and singing, not just this afternoon, but throughout the entire weekend. There's a great love for Formula One here, and no small amount of expectation. Let's hope today's Grand Prix can meet it. We're a long way above sea level here in Mexico today, which could pose some cooling issues for the cars as they make their way around this 2.6 mile lap. 17 corners with top speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and watch out for potential overtaking into turns 1 and 4. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Let's talk about the engineer. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be, it's about effective damage limitation.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And it's Pierre Gasly in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Stroll, Daniel Ricciardo, and Giovinazzi, Vettel, Weber, Perez, and Nico Hülkenberg, Hamilton, Magnussen, Valtteri Bottas, and Grosjean. Butler, Raikkonen, Charles Leclerc, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Daniel Kvyat, Russell, and the engineer. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So we're in P20 on the grid, but a massive shock ahead of this Grand Prix is that Leclerc also had engine penalties to take. So what are the chances? Because you can't tell if your teammate is going to take engine penalties. You don't know if any of your rivals are going to take engine penalties. So perfect timing for us to take these penalties at the same time, Leclerc. So it makes it a bit more of a fair fight, actually, that both of us are down here. He's going to be in P17, so 3 places ahead of us, but still pretty fair that both of us are having to fight back from the back of the grid to try and get some decent points here at the Mexican Grand Prix. So in terms of strategy, it'll be a 2-stop. We have to start on the soft tire. We qualified in Q2 on. Fuel won't be much of an issue as always, so it's pretty straightforward for us. 2-stop, soft, medium. Let's do this then from the back of the grid. P20 here for the Mexican Grand Prix. We go to 5 red lights and we're underway, and it's a very slow start compared to the AI. Shockingly slow, comically slow really. As you can see, they just waltz away. It's such a long run as well, so it just makes the effect so much worse there. So it really puts into perspective how good and OP the AI are on the race start. But we're going to take it nice and easy and kind of use this to be able to thread a needle through basically on the left-hand side there, around the outside, up into P17. Leclerc already battling for P14, that is, or 15 rather, with Romain Grosjean there, as we get a little bit caught up on George Russell's front left tyre there, and we actually get overtaken then by Devin Butler in the Red Bull there, the man I replaced at Toro Rosso, of course, so many races ago now. We're going to squeeze him out and have a little look at Russell, but it's a bit of a half-hearted attempt, and Kvyat tries to go around the outside, so a bit of a manic start for us, and pretty poor up one actually. We're only P18, whereas Leclerc is still battling for P15, I think that is, with Romain Grosjean, and I think he will get the Frenchman into that next left-hander, so he's up the order 2 places ahead of us then. So just like it was the case at Singapore, we're basically going to be trying to chase after him, and he's going to be chucking cars in between myself and him, basically, his little hurdles. Hopefully at some point, like Singapore, we can catch him and actually overtake him and be ahead of him then by the end of the race here. But it's early days, obviously. Lap number 1, still going to do a job on George Russell. We go round the outside, a little bit naughty and cheeky there, so it was a little bit off circuit on the curbing, but we make it work, and the FOI don't say anything about that, and we're up into P17 then, as Verstappen is the one that leads the way, then inherited pole position, because Sergio Perez also had penalties. Imagine that, your home race, you get pole position, and then you get an engine penalty, not on pole anymore. That's pretty gutting for the Mexican driver. We move back to focusing on us now on lap number 2. We're getting caught up a little bit behind Romain Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen, so Leclerc has already overtaken one more car as we now try and go around the outside of the Frenchman and try and dispatch of the Haas car. And we're going to try and move on to dispatch the Williams, hopefully, on this next straight here. The Williams is pretty decent in straight line, but I think we should have the better straight line speed. We're in overtake mode. Rich mix, obviously no DRS quite yet. It gets engaged this lap here as our front left tyre there is a little bit cooked, so hopefully that will cool down. But we go for a very easy pass on the right side of the main straight up into P15, and so now us two Toro Rossos line astern P14 and 15, and it's going to be a bit of an annoying period now on lap number 4, where myself and Leclerc get held up in a lot of dirty air and understeer fest basically in sector 2. It's really quite horrendous as I try to have a little look on Leclerc, but he goes very defensive and does a good job at just kind of, you know, almost opening the door and then closing it there, and so I get a little bit flustered on the exit of the double right-hander. But I mean, I can tell you basically the entirety of sector 2 was horrendous. I don't know what on earth was going wrong with our car or this circuit, but it just felt so bad. It didn't feel like a season 3 car. Like, there was no front end grip. like I said, yes, I did compromise for downforce, but it was my Alfa Romeo felt better than this in Season 2 than it did right now, as we now go for a move on Valtteri Bottas, trying to get the elbows out, as Leclerc helped us out a bit there by overtaking him, and Leclerc actually makes some contact with Hamilton there, so he's really getting the elbows out here, so he's making it happen, basically doing what I need to be doing, but I just don't have the confidence nor the grip to do it, basically, because I try and get close to some of these guys, and then the dirty air in this sector, this sector just kicks in so much, and it's just so bad. It feels like an HCV bus that I'm driving, basically. I'm able to let off the throttle so much more than I did in qualifying. It's just horrendous, really. So can we try and do anything on Hamilton, maybe? He goes very defensive on the inside, so we go around the outside here. It's going to be a bit of a cheeky move again on the outside. We get off track there because Hamilton just tries to barge us off, so we get very, very kind of, aggressive and aggy, basically, and push him off wide there. So I already know that some of you guys are going to... I already know some of you guys in the comments below might be having a go at me for that, but to be fair, I'm going to be honest with you, the red mist descended at that point. I was getting very fed up with the understeer I was seeing in the car, so the red mist just descended. I just decided, you know what, I'm going to get the elbows out here and just push them wide because I can't be arsed for it. It was very, very annoying. You can see myself weaving around on the main straight because I was just pissed off at this point because the car felt so bad. But we're soldiering on then on lap number 7, catching up now to Raikkonen being overtaken by Leclerc. He sends one down the inside there, he did on the right-hander, so very ballsy from Charles there, definitely basically doing the initiative that I need to be doing in this race, but I just can't because the car is just feeling so bad on the front end there. But Leclerc powers past there on the exit of the last corner, gets Raikkonen, a bit of a drag race there, but I think he will get him eventually in towards turn 1 then. We're up into P13, tyre wear not looking too bad there, but I got to say that I probably will think about doing an undercut because I think we need to try and get out of this traffic. I think the traffic and the dirty air from the traffic is hindering us more really than actually maybe the car, because I think the car in clean air is probably going to be okay, but we're going to catch up to Raikkonen then, trying to get out of his slipstream a little bit to try and cool the engine down, and we go now for the move on the outside of turn 1, try and thread the needle there, leave him some room though, but we get it done. A little bit awkward into turn 2, but we get it sorted, and we're up into P12, and now we've got a massive train ahead of Leclerc ahead to try and see what we can do. Hopefully they hold up Leclerc. They do that as we move on to lap number 10 now. Leclerc may go for a move there. He's a lot closer to the Racing Point car and the Ferrari, I think it is, of Ricciardo, I want to say, as I think we already got George Russell earlier on in the Grand Prix, so it'll be Ricciardo then down the inside. He's going side by side with the Racing Point car right now of Hulkenberg. That's going to slow up Leclerc so much so, and we get a really nice run through turns 2 and 3. Beautiful exit there. Can we even make a move on Leclerc into sector 2? Hulkenberg and Ricciardo still side by side. Leclerc will join the party for 3 wide. He goes for a massive dive, and he's got it wrong. He's got it wrong. Leclerc has broken a bit of his front wing there. He's got it misjudged there on the brake zone. Slammed to the side of Dan Ricciardo as we're now pressurised by Raikkonen behind, and on the exit in 3rd, 4th gear we get a massive tank slapper for some reason, and Raikkonen comes out of nowhere and hits us on the front left, and we've damaged a bit of our front wing, so both us Toro Rossos have now got front wing damage here. I bloody hope Leclerc is not going to be pitting this lap because I need to, because this damage is not going to be it, as we now go say to box in this lap, make a dive bomb on Raikkonen to try and re-overtake him there. We slide through the right-hander for P12, but it's a double damage then for both Toro Rosso cars. Leclerc with the massive dive bomb, and with me, I don't know what that was. I was focused so much on Hulkenberg and Leclerc ahead of me going side by side. I was so eager to try and close up to them that I just slammed the throttle on in 3rd and 4th gear, and the car just went basically sideways. I wasn't expecting it at all, and then Raikkonen just came out of nowhere and just pincered us basically. So we're going to come in for the early stop. Leclerc thankfully does not come in, so there's no double stack, but that will surely mean Leclerc's going to lose way more time on this in-lap of his, and he'll also have to make this front wing change, the same with me. So I think probably, ironically, what's going to happen is, even though I've had to pit right now, I will probably actually end up ahead of Leclerc once he's made his pit stop, because there's no way he's going to keep up that lap time it was before on this lap now with that damaged wing. So as we move out now on lap 11, we're out in last place of this Grand Prix. We've moved strategy to the hard tyres now, so we're going to try and go to the end of this Grand Prix, my engineer has decided, and the same for Leclerc as we now go past him, and we're up into P16. Leclerc about 2-3 places behind me now, but on the same strategy. So both me and Leclerc now are going to the end of the Grand Prix, but we're both now massively behind where we wanted to be, and I think we're kind of fighting for the lower points now, basically this stage at the end of the Grand Prix. And it takes us a whopping 4 laps to actually try and catch up to Romain Grosjean up ahead on soft tyres, and to try and catch him with DRS here. We're finally in the range of DRS, open the flap, overtake mode gone, rich mix engaged, and we're gaining just about by the end of the straight. We should get this into turn 1. Big dive into turn 1, easy though though, on the brace to make sure we don't lock up too badly. A little bit wide on purpose to try and scrape off some speed and push Grosjean wide, and we're up into P13 then of this GP. But Grosjean's got a good exit there, so we have to go a little bit defensive and watch out behind us, and we have a little bit of pressure from the Frenchman there, so I have to try and defend into Sector 2. The hard tyre is obviously not the one that you want to be on at the Mexican GP. I hardly ever use these at the Mexican GP, but we're going to have to, deal with it. Basically, we have to go to the end now on these tyres and just kind of, just try and make it work for the sake of our race and strategy and any kind of points in this Grand Prix. But I don't know how that's going to look, because we're actually over now halfway through this Grand Prix on lap 21, and we're still only P12. Leclerc's down in P15 or 16, so I don't know where the points are going to come from, though. But we've got yellow flags up ahead. I think there's someone who's going very slowly, maybe a puncture or an engine failure of some kind there. I think it's a red dot of Ferrari cars. We go through. Oh, there's a massive crash, and up ahead Ricciardo smoking away. No, not Ricciardo, George Russell. I think that is in the Ferrari, one of the Ferrari cars with an engine failure, and there was a massive bit of contact there between the Ferrari and Hulkenberg, I think that was, and that's flustered me. Again, we just narrowly missed a bit of massive contact there. That was, very close. Obviously, I was nearly going to go full throttle, because you usually do it. Oh my God! What? No way. No, this is a joke, isn't it, lads? Lads, this is a joke, right? This can't be happening. This safety car? Hello? The safety car is that we've jumped into the pit lane. As soon as I saw that safety car symbol, I thought, yep, get off these hard tyres. They're horrendous. Put on the set of mediums. We don't have any fresh softs left. We've gone to yellow wall, medium tyres. As soon as I saw that safety car thing come up, I thought, okay, get off these tyres. We don't want to be on them. But let's just take a minute to just appreciate we've actually got a safety car. For the first time since season 1 at the Austrian Grand Prix, we've got the safety car. Unbelievable scenes. Unbelievable. But this is what happened then with the crash. This was Ricciardo, it was then in the end, not Russell. Ricciardo with an engine failure. You can see most of them actually get ahead and around him, but it's a massive bit of contact with Hamilton in the Mercedes car. No actual contact with the Racing Point, to be fair. I actually thought there was. But that is why the safety car was called out then. Ricciardo going very, very slowly. But here we go then on the restart of the safety car. I have to dust off the cobwebs for this. Haven't had to do this in a long, long time on the F1 game. But here we go then. And we go green once more. We're in P15. Leclerc is only 2 positions ahead in P13. So if you're wondering why on earth I made a pit stop on the safety car, that is why. Or I'm not concentrating on everyone else. I'm concentrating on Leclerc. And Leclerc now is literally just ahead of me as we overtake Russell for P14. And I'm on pretty fresh medium tyres. He's on very worn hard tyres. So that is the only thing that matters here, really. If we don't get points, we don't get points. But he's definitely not getting points if we don't get points in this race, because there's definitely no way I'm not going to overtake him now in this Grand Prix. So move on to lap 25. Here we go on the exit, and look at that. A lovely bit of action there. Choreography there from about 4 or 5 cars. And so we're up into P8 of this Grand Prix. So we're both in the points-paying positions now for the first time in this Grand Prix. But here we go now for the move in a straight line with 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix. We overtake Leclerc to get ahead of him, basically, into P7 of this GP. And it's a side-by-side moment between Sergio Perez and Sebastian Vettel in the Williams car. Vettel gets down the inside, Perez on the left there. Those two squabbling, so those two might slow each other up, and we might be able to get 2 more positions maybe in this Grand Prix. But for now, we're ahead of Leclerc, so that's job done for us. We now basically try and get as many points as we can in this Grand Prix over Leclerc, because I don't think there's a way Leclerc can follow us through on these overtakes. If we do make them on Perez and Vettel, I don't think he has the pace to try and follow me through. So he's staying in maximum P8, I would say, in this race. And so we now move on to lap 28, and we're closing up to Sergio Perez here, but he's going to make a move on Vettel first. So can we try and maybe get 2 in 1 potentially into turn 1? We swing through very late for the move into turn 1. Perez locks up. We're going to make some contact with him and just narrowly get around the outside of Sebastian Vettel in the Williams, nip it to the inside of turn 3 and get the move done. But Perez uses that momentum to kind of push away, and he actually goes and overtakes his teammate Lando Norris, who's on old, worn, hard tyres like my teammate Leclerc was. So he's going to be slow. And so by the end of the Grand Prix, the last lap of the Grand Prix, got yellow flags, going to overtake Norris. I wasn't too sure if I could actually overtake him until we get to the green section of turn 1. And so now we can probably actually overtake him legally. And so we go and do that. Obviously, he's going to be very slow, just like Leclerc is on those worn tyres. And so we're up into P4 of this Grand Prix. Probably the highest we can get then. As you can see, Perez is miles away from us. But but that's a pretty damn decent recovery. All things considered, you know, we had a front wing damage, an early pit stop for that. The safety car saved us massively, I think, to be fair. So, you know, the first time it came out in absolute ages, and it's done bits for us there to get P4, and we've got even more points ahead of Leclerc now in the championship, so I can't complain. It's pretty eventful Mexican Grand Prix.
Not good enough. Not good enough at all. Let's push harder next time, okay?
It was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Renault. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Without a doubt, the safety car changed everything today. The key to their success was keeping calm and reacting to the situation quickly. We've seen teams in the past throw away wins because they were too hesitant, but here they were decisive, and that's allowed them to take the advantage.
As today's winners make their way up the podium steps, the team at Renault have shown once again what it takes to build a successful Formula One team. A well-deserved win for them.
So there you have it, 4th place, Leclerc P7. So in the Drivers' Championship then, we're going to get a massive amount on Leclerc then, 19 points. So going to USA and Brazil, I now feel so much more comfortable in terms of, you know, yeah, we can take a big hit at USA and Brazil and it will be fine. But the thing is, you never know. I'm just, you know, basically scared of that, but we could go pretty well at USA and Brazil. So either way, we're looking very, very good in terms of the Drivers' Championship with only now 3 rounds to go in this season there. But that was, yeah, such a hectic Mexican Grand Prix. I still can't believe we got a safety car. Finally, after so long, since season 1, Austria, we have not had one. I haven't even had a virtual since Austria, and we finally got one out of, like, well, it was a pretty big incident, but we've had equally big incidents before this season, and there's not been a safety car, so that was very, very strange. But there you go then, guys. Be sure to smash the like button for nothing else but the safety car in this episode then. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. If you're new around here to subscribe for weekly Formula One content, I've been aarava. I'm just today. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.